Great rise. Great rise, loved ones. Give me a minute. We're going to get started very shortly. Oh, you're not even there. We're going to get started very shortly. I see you, but who are you? Great rise. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We're about to get started. I'm here a little bit early, so give me a moment if you would. Steve Martin is in the building. Great rise, beloved. How are you? And I appreciate you for being early. Still setting up a little bit, but thank you for being here. Like IG gonna miss out again tonight. I swear I just gotta get another phone. I gotta get up on it. I am doing very well. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you for asking. I pray all is well with you. Here we go. Michael Williams Sr., what's going on, loved one? Thanks for being here. Kevin Melton, beloved, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I do. You've been very supportive lately. That means a lot. My sister Rochelle's Cuisine Hummus in the building. Great rise, beloved. Donald, what's going on, loved one? I appreciate you. I do. Let me see. Let me give IG a minute to get in here. It do everything, Donald. I promise you it do. Everything. Let's see. All right. Hopefully we got everything lined up now. I'm gonna give people a minute. I said to get in here. I started a little bit earlier. I just want to make sure that I got everything lined up. IG is up. We'll see how long that's gonna last. Appreciate you, darling. Appreciate you. What I'm going to do, I changed the way I normally do things. I would normally interrupt what I'm saying to greet everyone as they come in. And I realize that is a little bit of a distraction from what's being said. So I will do all of my shout outs right now. Or even after the show, but not while I'm talking. That does not stop me, however, from acknowledging your comments. So if you have comments, questions, or concerns, I will definitely read those. I'm just not gonna do the shout outs like I do normally throughout the conversation. So y'all good with that? I mean, y'all have been acknowledged already. So yes, because you can do a watch party right now if you like. If you rather share after, that is fine as well. Just share it. It's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in their feelings about what I say. Miss Carla, what's going on, loved one? I appreciate you as always. They're going to be in their feelings about what I say. And y'all already know I don't care. I don't do feelings, okay? I deliberately speak on things that need to be talked about. I am that. I will speak on things that are considered to be taboo because we need to start having conversations about everything that we're not having conversations about. So, having said that, again, feel free to share your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. Share this post with somebody, put it on your page. You can bring anything you want here. Bring your friends, your family, coworkers, your haters, even bring whoever. Just don't bring your feelings. Don't do it. Because I'm crushing them, because that's what I do. All right. I don't want you to deal with your feelings because they falsify facts. Y'all already know what this is. Y'all know this is just for any new people that come on here. This is the only disclaimer you get. I do not apologize for anything, and I mean what the hell I say. If I'm in error at all, then please feel free to correct me. Ms. Carla, what we are discussing tonight is the rise of the fallen Black woman. We've had the discussion about the fallen Black man. We're going to talk about the women tonight. And that's why I'm saying I know it's going to be some pissed off folks tonight. And it's all good. I got to do what I got to do. And it's always out of love. I don't know what's going on. Man, this phone is ridiculous. Anyway, IG will probably just not be here tonight. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. A full 1 hour show. Nonetheless, we're going to say what we need to say and we're going to keep it moving. Isn't that right, Miss Lily Marie? Thank you, beloved, for being here. I appreciate you. But we're going to go ahead and get it started. So what provoked this? Because something always provokes my thought, which is why I like to provoke other people's thoughts as well. I made a brief video a couple days ago discussing women and men, or how to be a certain way, or how there is a loss of good men. There is a decline in what we consider to be good men. I'll read that 1 second. And we have generations. Let me start there. Generations before us would discuss how their men were. Like, these were strong, God-fearing men. These were men who work hard. These were men who dress nice. These were men who opened doors, who made sure their women were provided for. They were taken care of. They were about their business. They were strong. They were secure. This type of thing. They were men. They were men. They knew what being a man was about. They were about their family. They were about maintaining structure. They were about handling everything in their household. And things have changed. Things have changed greatly, and they have not changed for the better. Okay, we now have at the level. I just went from 72 to 2. Anyway, at the level of where our men are, they're disgusted by it, and I can dig it. But here's the thing. Like I said, I always hold people accountable. I hold everybody accountable. We, as women, have to consider, when asking the question, where are the good men? What happened to them? We have to accept some accountability that we, as women, stopped raising them. We stopped emphasizing the importance of their position. We stopped emphasizing the necessity for them to be men. We stopped emphasizing the necessity for them, period. We stopped requiring them to do what they were created to do. We stopped expecting them to be what they were created as. We stopped allowing them, and I hate to use that, but we stopped allowing them to be the men that they were created to be, that they were created as. We stopped that. We start pacifying. We started accepting excuses. We started switching roles, and it ain't by accident that these things are happening, mind you, okay? But we started switching roles. We started wanting to be the head of the household while there's a man in the household. We started to take on roles and positions that were not designated to the Black woman at all. Okay, and I'm gonna get into that And I already know some of y'all finna be mad. I already know. And it's all good. Be mad, but process the information. Stay the hell out your feelings. Process the information. Okay. So right there, I'm just gonna go on back into some history, if you don't mind. When we start dealing with women's liberation, that whole movement, and my whole screen probably gonna go black now because ain't no woman gonna. I'm gonna take that back. Some females ain't gonna like it. Not gonna like what I'm saying. Women will get what I'm saying and appreciate the truth and move forward. So anyway, going back, women's liberation was created for and by Caucasian women because there were some issues between them and their men. Okay, they had a need to be competitive with their men. They had a need to be equal to their men. They had this need, okay, to feel level with their men. So they fought basically against their men so that they could be viewed as equal to, some even above, whatever, their men. Okay. Now, what happened when war came about, when it was time to fight and the men had to go out of the household, they had to the homes. It left the women in the home to take care of the household, everything about the household, because the man was not present, but he was fighting. Okay. So while the woman is in the household, she has to find some way to maintain her household. That's understood. I'm sure he was probably sending some money home, but I get it nonetheless. So she goes into the industry that the man was in before he left. Okay, she's now in. He left. She's making the money. She's the breadwinner. She is the head of the household because the man's not in the household presently. So now she's feeling some type of way. She's feeling more authoritative, more in control, more equal, you know what I'm saying? More competitive with her man. Mind you, I'm not talking about the melanated woman at this point. Okay. But this is what's happened. So now when the men come back home from war, there's no loving wife sitting there waiting on him with meals cooked in her beautiful dress, welcoming him home with open arms. There's none of that because now she is in his position at work. She has now taken his role at work and made it her own. She is now the head of the household. She is the breadwinner. So now he, without his knowledge, without his true participation, has now become, I don't want to say subservient necessarily, but the roles switched. Okay, the roles switched now because of that. Now he doesn't have what he had before he left because the wife now has it. So moving a little bit forward, not going through everything, but moving a little bit forward, Black women saw how this changed and gave Caucasian women some what looked like power and decided, I want that. Mind you, the Black man was always in the house, taking care of the house. When he's away from the house, he was always there. He was always a provider because it was natural for him to do that by any means necessary. He was always the provider. He was always making sure his family had what they needed, regardless to what he had to go through. But the Black woman looked at, like I said, what looked like power as the Caucasian women had, and decided, I want that. I want to be like that. So she took on characteristics that were not natural, that she took on characteristics that did not belong to her. And, if we going to do something, we going to do it. So the attitude that was being portrayed by Caucasian women to their men, Black women took on that same attitude. It didn't work too well because ours is a little bit more forceful and more demeaning, if you will. But it took on a whole different movement. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all that history. Y'all know what it is. Anyway, this is what brought us to this point. We have changed roles. We have changed positions. We have changed, well, in reverse, but some things are just completely out of whack. So nonetheless, let me get back on track. So as far as the fall of the Black woman, a lot of that, and a lot of it came from how she viewed herself, because she got into a space where she now is comparing herself to something other than. She's comparing what she has to what other people have. She's comparing what others have, and is made to believe that what she has, who she is, and who she has as a man is not good enough. It's not strong enough. It doesn't have enough value. So all these things have changed, which has caused a steady decline in a whole lot of stuff. Since I see all your comments, I'm gonna read them in 1 second. But that was one thing. It was her self-image. How she looked at herself declined. How she looked, how she sounded, and how she was viewed by others declined. I'm gonna go back and read your comment. Like Rochelle says, when you speak of the term of women, you are not mentioning just being a female, but you are speaking of a female having loyalty characteristics. Indeed. He said, now the Black woman was scouted because of numbers and vote. Okay, we'll deal with that too. This is because of education, career training, and government experimentation. Yes, ma'am. The Black woman living in America has never been protected. Yep. Okay. Has never been protected. And that's a whole nother subject. Lightweight. That's continued. But yeah. So again, the Black woman has lost or declined in her self-image. She's declined in not just how she looks, but how she sounds and how she is being viewed by others. Another thing, there's been a decline in her self-respect, her self-honor, and her self-adoration. And I don't just mean what she puts on her body as an adornment. I'm not just talking about that, but that too has declined. How she how she sees herself, how she remembers herself to be. How about that? How she remembers herself to be, because now she's listening to what's being said about her and taking on what's being said constantly as a truth. She's holding on to this information, even though it's false, as a truth. So she's processing this thing as her truth, and is not her truth at all. This has caused her to decline. I'm getting to a point. Okay. Another thing is, I don't know if I want to go in this particular order, but there is a decrease in her understanding and the application of divine order. There is a decline in the understanding and application of divine order. Everything happens for a reason. Everything has an order. And once order is disrupted, balance is disrupted. Once a household dynamic shifts, everything shifts. Everything is out of order. Everything. Okay, it's a reason why the man is mentioned as the head of the household. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why he is given the position as a protector, as a provider. There's a reason for all of that. He is a divine, he is an intercessor between she and the Most High. Believe it if you don't believe it. Learn it. Remember it. I don't want you to believe anything. Know for a fact there is a purpose for him that has not, I won't say has nothing to do with the woman, but it is in divine order. Donald says, like said days ago, some women stop acknowledging that they were that valuable possessions of the king. A king must have a queen. Indeed, and the word possessions, I talked about that, and that set some folks off because I called it property, which is the same thing. But I'm so glad you mentioned that. Thank you, loved one. I appreciate it. We ain't got to be first in every doggone thing. There's a reason why we are where we are and why we do what we do. What we do is what we're supposed to do. What we're able to do is what we're supposed to do. What they're able to do is what they're supposed to do. I see you over there. Thank you, loved one, for being here. What we're able to do is what we're supposed to do. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not. Stay in your lane. That's all I'm saying. Okay, moving on. The next is, like I said, this is not necessarily in order. This was just as it came to my mind. I just want to take a couple of notes. There was a decrease. Woo! Here we go. There's a decrease in the proper use of power and proper use of power and influence. Go some mad women. So we talk about women's empowerment. First of all, the word empower means to give power. No one can give you what you already have, male or female. No one can give you what you already have. You can only be reminded that you have it, and you can be taught how to utilize it properly. Okay? You can be taught how to utilize what you already have naturally, properly. But what's happening is women that are getting more so into this empowerment thing are using it against men. They're using it just as a click for women, which I understand the whole buildup of a woman. I get that. But understanding also that women are the biggest, strongest influence of men. They are the biggest, strongest influence of men. So when you want to, when you consider the whole empowerment of women, you have to think, how do we utilize the power that we have to uplift us? Us meaning you and I. Not rise above him and walk away. You cannot get so empowered and forget about him. We we need each other. We balance each other out. There's no way. That's the part that irritates me, because it's like women take that whole thing and run completely to the left with it. And like I said, and leave the men out. You can't disregard them because you are strong in yourself. Be strong within yourself. Help other women, help other sisters recognize the strength that they have. That's a wonderful thing. I'm all with that. But don't do it to the detriment of our men. And that's the part that's happening. With seduction, even, okay, let's keep it real. The power of seduction to seduce men, to give them things to use against them. You have women who will seduce men to get pregnant, to use the child against him. You have women who will seduce him to get his money, material things or whatever, to use against him, to get weapons to form against him. That ain't cool. Not cool. I'm gonna keep it moving. Another thing is there is an increase in the tolerance of the unacceptable. Somebody heard me just then. There's an increase in the tolerance of the unacceptable. It used to be a time where women had standards that said, I will never allow a man or anybody to do, be, say, think whatever, certain things. It wasn't happening because it was disrespectful, it was degrading, it was harmful in some type way, something. It was not productive. Now we accept him laying up on the couch while you making, you at work. We accept him with his pants hanging down to his ankles with a belt on. What the hell is that? We accept him having no no goals, no motives, no nothing. We accept that. We accept him just having the potential, and that's it. We accept him not having any value of anything, including himself, including us. We accept that. We have tolerated these things because we've allowed it to continue, or because we don't want to hear his mouth, or because we don't want to lose him, whatever the case is. And let me tell you this, what you tolerate won't change. What you tolerate doesn't change. Now understand, there is a difference between tolerating something and being patient with something. Learn the difference. You will be patient when you are watching somebody in motion moving forward. Be patient, help them out. That's fine. Tolerating is waiting on what they're saying to manifest into some movement. And Marie says, that's because you have girls, talk to me, girls trying to be a woman, trying to be women. A woman understands that you have to allow a man to be a man. Absolutely. From the time the man says hello, thank you, ma'am. Yes, indeed. Like I really hate to say allow, but at this point, that's pretty much where we at. We don't allow him. We don't encourage him to be men. We don't encourage them to be men. Period. Because why? We got it. And I talked about this before, as far as that independent woman versus the self-sufficient woman. The woman who can do everything or anything for herself, just about she can do, but allows a man to do. Okay? If you don't allow him to do what he's designed to do, you make him feel unnecessary, which is why he will walk away from your ass and go somewhere where somebody needs him. Somebody shows appreciation for his position. Black women, and I'm sorry to have to say, have taken that away from Black men. We've been Black men. That destroys us. That's causing us to decrease. That's causing our value to decline because we're not allowing and promoting our men to be that. We're not allowing them to be providers. We're not allowing them to be protectors. Why? Because we can make our own money. Why? Because we can learn to fight for ourselves. I ain't with it. You got these bags. I can carry these 15 bags, but you just offered to carry these 15 bags. By all means, carry the bags. You got the door. You want me to get the door? Thank you. Please and thank you. Men now stop even asking women if they can help because in their mind, the woman's going to say, no, I got it. So that takes him out of being needed. He stops asking. He stops allowing himself to even be in that position anymore. He stops offering his assistance. He stops offering to be a man to this female because she's not woman enough to allow him to be a man. And yes, I said that out and forward. Let's see. Oh, back to it's still on the line of what we accept. This is between each other now, woman to woman. Back in the day, if a woman called another woman a bitch or a hoe, it was going down. Gloves was coming off. A brawl was finna happen. Because it was disrespectful. That was the utmost disrespect. Now, bitch and hoe is regular conversation as to say, my sister, my homegirl, that bitch, she cool. What? Why is that accepted? Why are we okay with calling each other that? Why? Why did we go from bitches and hoes, or when did we stop calling each other queens and goddess and sister and empress and loved one to calling each other bitches and hoes? I don't get it. Donald says, on average, most men and women don't know what being brought to the table or what's being brought to the table until things stop being brought. Understand that sometimes it's not about bringing anything to the table. Sometimes you just got to bring the wood. You got to bring the tools and build the table. It takes two of y'all. You bring the hammer, she bring the nails. Glue, whatever is required to build a table, y'all bring that. That way nobody can say I got more or I did more than the other. Bring the tools, build the table. Okay? Moving forward. There's been a decrease in the connection of the true spirit being and the creator. So the woman she's lost connection with her creator. She's lost true connection with herself as a spirit being. And this is for everybody. We have to remember that we are spirits. We are spiritual beings having physical encounters. We are interacting with one another in a physical form. We're having a physical experience, but we are spiritual beings. There's an elevation in that. We stopped operating in our highest self. Think on a carnal level. We desire on a carnal level. We're no longer operating as spirit beings, which is the highest of us, the highest being. We don't do it. That's a problem. Moving on. There's a decrease in the understanding of our value, of our position, and our purpose. A decrease in the value, the understanding of the value, the position, and the purpose, especially when it comes to our men and the universe as far as balance is concerned, and with one another. Again, I'm going to just emphasize balance. Okay? Energy and balance, same thing. They require each other. Y'all know I'll be getting a little touchy sometimes, so give me a moment. I'm going to move forward. Sis says, the food stance, yes, you take effects. Oh, the food stance, ignorant behavior, absolutely. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that as well, because definitely the food that so-called food that we take in has a great deal, or is a great factor to how we process, how we think, how we move, all of that. Watch what you eat. Like, know for certain that what you're eating is real food. Miss Carla says the older women should always try to educate the younger ladies on how to choose a real good man and to stop tolerating a man who is no good to them. Absolutely. And see, that's another thing. And that's our history. Our history are our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents. We stop talking to them. We stop asking these questions because though great-granny, great-great-great-grandma, whatever, used to sit the women down and tell them, teach them, show them how to be women. Just show them how to be women, show them how to be ladies, show them how to conduct themselves so that that good man, that right man will recognize her, will recognize the value and necessity in her. History is dying out now. It's dying. Our generations, the older women used to teach. They used to teach and train all the time. You're absolutely correct. It wasn't about no particular event that was coming up. It wasn't about no holiday that was coming up. This was every day, all day. When you got up, when you went to sleep, you learned something. When you woke up, you learned something. Throughout the day, you was learning something, whether you knew it or not. You were learning how to be what you were created to be in the spiritual form. Because granny, them, grandma, great grandma, them was church going women's. Okay, they were God fearing to be connected to the Most High. They understood the necessity to be obedient to the Most High. They understood the necessity and the importance of following natural divine order. There was no question about that. None at all. Miss Lily Marie says, so true. And the young women need to understand that you don't know everything as well as the men. Absolutely. They swear they do. They swear they do. Say older women make a younger woman learn. Indeed, they made them learn. Absolutely. Because that woman, like how the men, when they have sons, the son carries on their name. The woman carries on the legacy of the. So we don't have that anymore. What happened to that? What happened to that? We got grandmothers, and I'm included, grandmothers that's 30 years old. What the hell is that? What's a 30-year-old grandmother? You know what I'm saying? That was not heard of before. A 30-year-old granny? Stop it. Like, it don't even sound right. But I'm a G-mom. I have a grandson. I'm not 30, but I have a grandson. But the grandmothers are getting you over there. I'm going to acknowledge you. What else do we have here? There's a lot. Y'all continue to keep talking. I wrote some notes, and I just want to make sure that I'm spoken on everything that needs to be spoken on. And I didn't miss anything that I wrote. But yeah. So anyway, the decline of the Black woman. Like I said, we cannot continue to just talk about how the men have declined because we've allowed it. I saw on more than one occasion, it was a post and a picture of a woman that had her son from the age of maybe between 5 and 7, dressed up like a princess or a queen. And the caption says that little boys can be queens too. I'm sorry. It was good meeting you. Yes, we loved your spirit and I appreciate you, loved one. Right back at you. I know I appreciate you, beloved. Now, thank you for being here. Yeah, that it's okay for these young men to be queens and get on a crown and a dress holding a wand. It's okay. We're raising young boys to accept that it's okay if you don't want to be a boy. It's okay if you don't want to grow up to be a man, even though you are genetically designed as one. It's okay to go against nature and be something that you're not supposed to be in the first place. It's okay. That's okay, little boy. If you want to act like a little girl, that's okay. If you want to take on the characteristics and traits of something that is not natural to you, this is what we are raising. We are raising these boys that don't have any value of self, that don't have any knowledge of self, that don't have any nothing, that don't have themselves anymore. They're not even given an opportunity to learn who they are because the women are making them be who they want them to be or trying to live their lives through their sons. You cannot live your life, women, through the life of your son. How dare you do that to him? That just pissed me off. How women how dare we cheat them out of their manhood? How dare we do that and then expect them to figure it out when they get older? Well, we're not even putting them around real men. How dare we do that? Around the older generation to learn this and understand this. Absolutely. Sis Rochelle says, it's going by fast. So you and I have a duty to reach all younger women and teach and train them. Absolutely we do. That's why I'm right here. Yes, ma'am. We most definitely do. Killer B, what's going on, loved one? I appreciate you for being here. Donald says child-proofing things today could very well apply to some of the people who claim to be, what you say, who claim to be adults. For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, we have to take responsibility, hold ourselves accountable as women for what we are doing to our men, what we are doing to them, how we are influencing them to be less than what they are designed to be, what they're designed to be. We're not encouraging them to be strong men. We're not encouraging them to be business owners. We're not encouraging them to be creators and inventors and providers. We're not encouraging them to be educators and mathematicians and scientists. We're not encouraging them to be husbands and fathers for real. We're not encouraging that at all. We're pacifying them. We're giving them pacifiers. We're giving them dresses to put on. We're giving them our wards, our crown as women, as queens to wear, and say, now go be a man. How that's working out. Jennifer says many Black men are dating white women. Indeed, but have you asked the question, why is that so? There's a reason for that. Some of the reason for that is because they will be more verbally supportive. And here's the main one. They will submit. Woo! How many women did that just slap in the face? They will submit to him, but they will also not hold him accountable for anything that he does or does not do. They were raised. Woo! They will allow him to be bare minimum. There is no level of expectation with her. She's not looking for him to be great. She's not expecting him to operate in his spiritual being. She's not looking for that at all. That's what we used to look for. That's what we used to expect from our men. We used to do that. They don't. So he's lax with her. He's minimal with her. He don't have to work for nothing. He don't have to aspire to be nothing. He doesn't have to. Quiet as it's kept, she really don't want him to. She doesn't want him to elevate. She doesn't want him to realize who he is. She doesn't want him to feel king-like. She doesn't want him to feel superior. She doesn't want that. I'm just saying. Jennifer says, I live in Vancouver. We are dying. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I actually killed a Black man. He tried to rape me and I threw my weight on him and scratched his face off. Okay, we'll have to talk about that. I hate that happened to you. I do. I hate that happened to you. We'll talk about that another time. But the fact that that type of stuff even happens where we're put into a situation where that might be necessary is sad. It's sad and sickening. What else we got going on over here? Miss Lily Marie says, yes, ma'am, I do every day. Also, I have 2 girls I'm raising with this knowledge, and I appreciate you for that. Sister Rochelle says that goes back to female having character of loyalty. Absolutely. Absolutely. We lost that too. We stopped being loyal. That's for sure. We stopped being loyal. Hence the song. And I hate the doggone song. I really do. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Georgia, Jennifer. But from Midwest. Yes, ma'am. So what says, it's sad some women think they can show their son how to be a man. That part. Okay, so let's talk about that, because I talked about that once before. Women that are raising sons and have the idea that how do you teach someone something that you don't know? How do you teach on a subject that you have no idea of? This does not take away from the women who have raised their children, their sons, to be the best, to be hardworking. None of that. It doesn't take away from that at all, because there are plenty, okay? But women, sisters, women cannot teach a young male child how to be a man because she has never been one. And even if she had been one, moving on, she can't teach him how to be a man because she's not a man. She doesn't think like a man. She doesn't feel like a man. She cannot process like a man. She's not a man. She doesn't interact with the Most High like a man. She doesn't interact with another man like a man. Certain things, women, you just can't do. Just take that. Just like a man can't raise a female child and teach her how to be a woman because he's never been a woman. He doesn't feel the way a woman does. He do the Most High the way a woman is, period. Men, raise your male children to be men. Teach them how to be men by being one. Be the example they need, and then start checking these females for putting your sons in dresses. Miss Carla says, and let me go back because you said a couple of things. Miss Carla says, no hate. Some black women will date or marry white women. Okay, some black men will date or marry white women for their children to have good hair. You know what I'm saying? I do not hate on them or jealous of their choices. And that's his head. White men also treat black women about domestic violence. Bottom line, get to know the person. Indeed. Indeed. But you already know I'm for the brothers, no matter what. Let's see. Jennifer says many black men are white. Let me see. Many black men are white women with, they like white women with large bottoms. Yeah. We just need larger. Okay. See, I got to masculine and make a girl to be feminine. It takes a special woman to understand how to make a boy child masculine and make a girl to be feminine. I would suppose, but there's certain things she can teach him certain things, but she'll still never be able to relate to him as a man. He'll never be able to relate to her as a man. There's certain things that male children will never discuss, cannot process. She's going to give him advice based on her understanding, period. And it's not the understanding of a man. You know what I'm saying? It's just not that. You know, women, a lot of women, I won't say all, but a lot of women try to give their male children advice from their own personal experience. Your experiences are not going to be the same just because one is masculine and one is feminine, even if the activity is the same, even if it looks like the same thing. It's not the same experience because the spirit is different. Everything about it is different. So we got to understand that. We got to do better, y'all. I mean, bottom line, we got to do better. Miss Lily Marie says, I think she can teach him to be a husband, but not a man. Boom. I say that because you have some men that were raised by women that's awesome with the husband qualities. However, a man understands that he has to provide and has to solidify himself before he's ever a husband. Facts. So he skips a very important value part of life because a man needs to raise or teach a man how to be a man. Absolutely. Since Rochelle says, from personal experience of me having to provide both my male children and girl child, I have to say a woman can do a good job with raising black men. Not, like I said, it's not taking away from those women who have had to do that. Oh, I know what you're saying. It's not taking away from it at all. It's just certain things a male child needs a male figure for, period. Certain things a female child needs a female purposes. Master that. Women, raise your young girls to be women. Men, raise these young boys to be men, period. Raise them accordingly. Do not raise your female child to be a masculine. Do not raise your male child to be a feminine. It ain't natural. It throws off the balance. What's happening to our men? We're not raising them. We're not raising them to be men. We stop allowing them to be men. We stop needing them to be men. That's what happened to him. And that's what happened to us. We are failing each other. We're failing each other. This is why we are dying out, because we'd rather compete with one another. We'd rather find a way to keep each other down. We'd rather have to take each other out on both ends. We'd rather compete. We'd rather what's natural for us. We'd rather take on the Western society or wherever the hell you are. We'd rather take on what we've been taught instead of remembering what we naturally know. We'd rather do. So before you complain about where our men are, look in the mirror and ask yourself, where was I? What was my contribution? Birth to him or not? How did I encourage him? How did I show support? What was my part? Period. What was my part? Hold yourself accountable. That's all I'm saying. Hold yourself accountable. All right, loved ones. There's a lot of people on here. Let me see if I can acknowledge everyone. I acknowledge Jennifer. Thank you, loved one, for being here. So what? Again, appreciate you, beloved, for being here. Steve Martin, thank you, love, for showing up. I appreciate you. Lily Marie, you already know. My sister Rochelle, I appreciate you, loved one. Oh, you got some? Oh, there's more comments. Let me read them. They come from the Creator, so I have to give a question. Is God a male or female? Yes. Okay. The question was, is God a male or female? The answer is yes. Donald says he's been waiting on this one. Power to the black woman. If you don't know football, don't teach cheerleading. That's different. If you don't have a man in existence, go to your father or the most heavenly father. Absolutely. If you don't know football and cheerleading ain't got nothing to do with that. I know cheerleading, but I don't play football. So, but I understand what you're saying. Lisa Marie also says you're women sometimes, child. Now, however, in these days, we have to do what we have to do because the role changed. But that's the problem. You have so many men. Let me see. You have so many men okay with leaving their child. Absolutely. That is true. You have a lot of men that are okay with leaving their kids, but you also have a lot of women that are okay with him leaving the child. You have a lot of women who are okay with taking the child. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women provoke him to want to leave everybody, including the child, because he don't want to be attached to her no kind of way. You know, like I said, that's the brute mentality. Also, we got to hold ourselves accountable for everything. Women, hold yourself accountable. Men, hold yourself accountable. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot going on over here. Let me see. Yes, the Heavenly Father has worked well because I have seen this vision from him for my sons. Okay. Steve Lenoy, what's going on, loved one? I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. It's Miss Gina to you. Hey, loved one. I see you. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, if y'all on IG, Irresistible chick is something else. Piano Beth 69. What's going on, loved one? I appreciate you for being here. This is your first time as well. I definitely appreciate you. Let's see. Did I miss anybody over here? I think I got everybody over here. But if you all have any comments, any questions, any concerns, anything you want to say right now before we completely get out, feel free to do so. You can always continue the conversations after the live. Feel free to share. Oh, I got you. No worries. Also, those of you who are on Facebook, if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. It's Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and it's the icon with the queen and the sword. There's two of them. They're both mine, but the queen with the sword is the one that's active. So please go to my YouTube channel, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and subscribe over there, because eventually shutting down Facebook completely, at least for Melanated Monday. So if you would please go over to YouTube and subscribe. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, Queen with the sword icon, and subscribe. And also it'll be some other things that'll be happening on YouTube that will not be happening over here on Facebook. And you might see period facts. Absolutely. Because that is his. Absolutely. All right, loved ones. Again, I appreciate you as always. Oh, Steve says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, since you'll be busy tomorrow. Okay, well, same to you, loved one. Appreciate you. I probably won't be, but nonetheless, I appreciate you. Yeah, so look for me over here, YouTube. If you all have any questions, comments, concerns, you can still share them. Also, I have a post up, and I'm real serious about it, that states that that I'm teaching women how to use their power to strengthen and encourage men. This is a real class, okay? It's not just something that I put up there to say. This is a real class. So if you are interested, let me know, inbox me, and I will get information to you and just figure out dates and where and all that kind of stuff and cost, whatever. But it's definitely going on. Yes, it is a new necklace, my dear. It is the eye. Get a little closer. That one right there. What we call the eye, the third eye. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got going on. Parents should always care for their kids regardless. Don't become messy. Absolutely. Steve, if you're interested in getting any, or anybody, if you're interested in getting any type of steel jewelry, you can go to Steelman Jewelry on IG or steelmanjewelry.com. Some bomb stuff over there, so check that out. Alrighty then. Hello, Miss Misha. We're getting out of here, loved one, but I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Make sure you watch it. Just go back and watch it. If you feel the need to share it, by all means, share it. Share your comment. Icon with the queen and the sword. All right. All right, beloveds. Until next time, again, I always appreciate you. I always appreciate you. I love you on purpose, with purpose. And until we meet again, reflect the light. Peace.